Okay, so there's even more to the Genshin Impact voice actor drama, or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, I'm going to keep covering this as more stuff comes out, and as even more information comes out, and even more crash outs happen, because again, this seems to be a very, very interesting situation that is going on, that has kind of transcended the entire whole agreement with AI stuff, and it's now gone to mainly focused at the voice actors themselves and their behavior over online and everything like that. Now, I've gotten two kind of new posts here which I wanted to go through. One of them was some CN comments about the Paimon VA crash out, which we looked at in the past video. So if you guys want to go watch that, again, I watched a TikTok about Paimon voice actor actually crashing out over everything that's going on a couple of months ago, or not months ago, it was a couple of days ago at least. And obviously we also have another post about the CN community actually providing some pretty important information about HoYoverse, and a really big reason as to why maybe they haven't signed this agreement yet, and actually going into some of the agreement stuff rather than just looking at these voice actors crashing out constantly. Because again, although it's very, very funny, we do need to actually look at some of these serious issues at hand. Now, obviously, yeah, this is a post on Genshin Impact, which came out 19 hours ago, and they say CM Billy community reaction to Paimon ENVA TikTok crash out. Now, obviously, a lot of these are quite funny. This person called Boyiching, they've actually translated this, I'm pretty sure, and they say, yeah, damn, Hoyo gives her money, the money comes from the players, and somehow she manages to piss us all off, which again, is absolutely true. She's decided to attack, a lot of the people in the community on purpose, and it doesn't really help their case at all. If you want someone to really stand by your opinion and really understand where you're coming from, you don't just go ahead and attack them and call them idiots and tell them that they know nothing and that it's only voice actors that should know about this. It's you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't alienate people straight off the bat, because you're not going to help the cause. You're not going to help yourself in terms of your personal image, but you're also not going to help SAG-AFTRA in general in trying to get their message across, which they are trying to get across. Now, obviously, yeah, they keep going saying Hoyo technically doesn't give her money. Hoyo just signs a contract with the agency, and it's the agency that pays the VAs. And they say, well, who gives the money to the agency, Sam? He said, yeah, but she's still messed up with the client, Hoyo. Now, yeah, they keep going saying, you're all welcome to try out the CN Paimon dub. Agree, CN Paimon is so cute. So pretty much all the CN players are saying, hey man, come over to our side. We got some pretty good voice actors, that don't crash out on us constantly. Which again, is kind of funny. And, it seems like a lot of people are getting fed up of the English voice actors for Genshin Impact, and mainly the Paimon voice actor in English. Because again, a lot of you guys commented on my previous post about this, saying that you do want to replace, and that you do want someone else just to voice act Paimon from now on, because it does create this kind of toxic feeling. Even after, all of this settles, well, I hope it settles at least. Even after all of this settles and, they all go back to their jobs, it's still not going to feel right. This is something that, the Paimon voice actor has been doing for quite a while, and she's been just constantly crashing out, not just on this topic, but topics in the past, and has gotten away with it. And I think, they've gotten to the point where I think they can get away with it too much. They think they can get away with, a whole lot more than, should be allowed. But hey, let's keep going on. And they say, you're a refrigerator, you can't freeze stuff, therefore you cannot comment on fridges. No, this is a common analogy in CN, usually referred to when people can/should comment on someone, usually a public figure or not. Which again is true. That's something that I mentioned in my previous video. They were saying oh, you can't comment on this because you're not a voice actor. Well, that's not true. Lots of people have an understanding of things when they don't have a profession. It's very, very simple. Now, do I know a lot of stuff about voice acting and the agencies and stuff? No, of course not. But I've done a lot of research into this and actually looked into everything that is going on. But again, I'm still not at a point where I'm super knowledgeable about all of this stuff. But at the same time, you can't just say everyone knows nothing, because that's not the case at all. People are very knowledgeable about this stuff, outside of me, and, people just looking into this entire drama, which again is crazy. And they say, well, you can just switch out this faulty fridge called Farina. Karina, sorry, not Farina. If the fridge keeps malfunctioning, replacing it would be the best choice, which again is crazy. They're saying that they want her replaced, and that, they want someone else to take her place, essentially, because she's a faulty fridge, which again is kind of crazy. Sorry, I'm just changing that. And they say, Hoyo's Genshin official account, please change Paimon's English VA. Everyone will be happy. I'll do another 6 months of battle passes if you want. So they're even saying, hey man, please, if we'll pay you to get rid of this voice actor, because again, it's terrible. I'll pay for battle passes, which is kind of crazy. They say, I'll top this up too. If I were a Ian dub enjoyer and have to listen to that rat scream any longer, I'd actually quit the game, which seems to be a very common nickname in the CN community for her, is just a rat. and they were calling it a cooked rat earlier on, which again was kind of funny. And they're saying, what a voice, it's like a desperate mouse that got pressed onto a grill by a piece of bread and slowly gets made into a sandwich, which is a very descriptive way to put it. I'm gonna be honest. You know, they keep going on saying, I usually don't attack people based on their appearance, but I didn't ask her to attack me with her appearance either, which yeah, crazy. They're going after her appearance there. They say, Parman is so angry. Parman is going to give you an ugly nickname. I'm going to give you an angry balloon. They're pretty much making fun of her voice lines, I'm pretty sure, which again is so funny. And, you know, they just keep going and going and going. There's so many different kind of posts here. They're saying, a fool really jumped out on April Fool's Day. Ha. You know, it's so weird that, you know, all the CN community are so quickly kind of commenting on all of this stuff going on. And a lot of them are right. You know, they're all clowning on the EN voice actor for Paimon, which is just crazy. Now, let's get into another post which I just saw. Obviously, this was the fun part. The other post that I saw from this person called Marshall Lee Elliott, which, you know, got 200,000 views, 4.7 thousand. And obviously, a lot of people don't, you know, really understand whether this is true or not. So again, take a lot of this information with a grain of salt. We've got Nathan Noakes here, the voice actor, who said they spoke to the voice actor in the past saying, does SAG know this? Which again is kind of crazy. And obviously, it's pretty much a reason why HoYoverse, being a Chinese company that is bound to Chinese law and stuff like that, why they could have some issues with actually signing this. They say, question 1, would MiHoYo be in trouble for using AI voice of someone without their consent of the person, regardless if they're Chinese or not? They say, under current Chinese law and judicial practice, MiHoYo may face legal risks if it uses AI synthesized voice, regardless of the language, without the individual's consent. And this is not limited to Chinese voiceovers. So they're saying, currently in Chinese laws, there is some voice rights actually, you know, put in place, which, you know, restricts them from already doing any of this AI stuff in the first place without even a kind of, you know, strike or whatever getting involved. Now, they say legal basis, Article 1023 of the Civil Code explicitly protects voice rights by referencing the protection for portrait rights. Unauthorized use of a person voice is including highly similar AI generated voices constitutes infringement. They say if an AI synthesized voice has identical characteristics, they say tone, intonation, I think that says, or speech patterns that are linked to a specific individual, it may be deemed a violation of personality rights, even if the original recording was not directly used. They say in China's first AI voice infringement case, Beijing Internet Court 2024, the court ruled that AI generated voices are protected if they are identifiable. The judge emphasized that voice rights are inherently personal and unauthorized commercial use constitutes infringement regardless of language or commercial purpose. This is scope of risks, language neutrality. The law does not restrict infringement based on language. If an AI synthesized voice, English or Japanese, can be recognized as belong to a specific person, it's still actually an infringement on that person's voice. Let's say potential liabilities, cease infringement, public apology, compensation, everything like that. So again, they will have to, you know, pay them back, everything like that, which again, seems like there's already some laws out there which are already covering this, which, you know, makes a lot of sense as to why MiHoYo hasn't signed this yet. They say if MiHoYo were to sign the SAG-AFTRA agreement, what trouble would they face in China? They say if MiHoYo, as a member of China's All China Federation of Trade Unions, were to sign an agreement with SAG-AFTRA, it would constitute a serious violation of Chinese law and ACFTU regulations, leading to multiple repercussions, which again is a very big and important part of this entire kind of process, which I think people have been leaving out. You know, if this is true, and if this information is true, you know, SAG-AFTRA and a lot of the strikes they've been doing have been kind of pointless because there's already protections in place with HoYoverse in particular to actually stop this. But that's not the case for, you know, SAG-AFTRA. They don't want that, okay? They don't want just AI protections. They want to get a monopoly over all the market. They want more than just AI protections, which is why they're still asking for an agreement, you know? Even though they have right here in written language, there's AI protection in MiHoYo, you know, they won't do it. You know, it's illegal for them to do it using Chinese law. They still want a monopoly over the kind of market over in the US with like the voice actors and everything like that, which again, you know, that's not really going to suit them if they just say, oh, okay, that's fine. You know, you have protections, fine. We'll leave you alone. That's not going to suit them. They're not going to make any money from that. They're not going to, you know, benefit from that at all, apart from, you know, the voice actors themselves getting, you know, what they wanted, you know, voice actor protections from AI. And if this is true, well, it just kind of defeats the whole point of what they've been, you know, kind of fighting for, because they already do have these protections in place. Now, obviously, they say, let's keep going to the other stuff to do with SAG-AFTRA. They say legal and policy restrictions. Article 4 of China's trade union law and ACFTU charter enforce a single union system. Enterprise unions must belong to the ACFTU and cannot join independent or foreign unions, including SAG-AFTRA. So they can't join any kind of union or anything like that, which means, they're not going to be able to sign anything with SAG-AFTRA anyways, because they'll be breaking the law over in China. Now, they say the ACFTU, as the only legal trade union under the CCP leadership, would view MiHoYo's cooperation with a foreign union as undermining union unity, violating Article 50 of the trade union law. They say potential consequences, civil affairs or labor authorities could order termination of the agreement, demand rectification with a deadline, and impose fines. So again, they're going to get heavily fined. There's going to be lots of discipline, everything like that. Obviously, revocation of MiHoYo's union status, loss of government policy support, which again, for signing it's something like a SAG-AFTRA agreement, it's really not that big of a deal anymore to them. Whenever you have all of this information, it becomes something that is less of a big deal. Signing this SAG-AFTRA agreement, which would be great to have AI kind of, don't get me wrong, AI should definitely be protected, and people shouldn't have their voices replaced or whatever, but it's already here in writing, from the Chinese kind of law, but that's not allowed in MiHoYo anyways. And the fact is as well, this agreement, not signing it, what's the consequences of not signing it? They don't have some voice actors. Okay, fine. They don't have some voice actors. Fine. Right? But the consequences they face if they sign it, and the Chinese law, well, they lose their union status. They don't have any government support anymore. They lose pretty much everything over in China. Being a Chinese-based company, that's pretty bad. That's almost career suicide for them. They do not want to do that. And that's probably a big reason as to why they've not signed it, And, I wouldn't sign it either. If I was MiHoYo and I had to choose between, some voice actors aren't going to voice for me, or B, the Chinese government I'm going to lose all my support. I'm going to lose a lot of the money and the income and the support I've been getting in my area, which I've literally come from. Which one should I do? It's a very, very easy choice. And I feel like, a lot of people are misunderstanding that. And, as that person, as that voice actor put in the reply, does SAG actually know about this? And, is this true? Because, again, if this is true, it's crazy. It completely changes everything we know about this because, again, the protections are already in place. And B, it could have some massive, massive kind of detriments to HoYoverse. And even if number one, with the question one being, the protections for AI voice isn't enough for them for some reason, or it's not true or something like that, even with the second part, with the SAG-AFTRA, what would happen if they were to sign it, it's still really, really bad, and it still could affect the company terribly, which is just, something that they're not going to do. And they say, the practical implications, they say, under Chinese law, such an agreement would likely be void from the start, forcing MiHoYo to unilaterally terminate it. So even if they were to sign it, they would have to terminate it anyways. And again, they would lose a lot of support from a lot of the Chinese government and everything like that, which obviously shows you the situation that is going on at the moment. Now, as I said, we're going to have to take this information with a lot of grain of salt because, again, we don't know how true this is. But again, this was taken from Bilibili and translated to English and then put over on Reddit, which, again, hopefully this is true because, again, it means that a lot of the voice actors are getting AI, protection because, again, have we seen HoYoverse actually, replace some of AI yet? No. Do you want to take a guess at why? Maybe because of this. And I think a lot of people are kind of freaking out over this. And it seems like SAG-AFTRA, if they do continue to do this, and if they do know that this is the case over, this could go in two ways, A, SAG-AFTRA look very, very scummy for knowing these facts and knowing this kind of stuff is going on in China to actually protect them. And, and this kind of stuff could happen to HoYoverse if they were to sign an agreement like that, and they're just going to look bad. Or B, they're going to look very, very stupid for not doing their research and knowing that this stuff is already in place, And the voice actors are going to look very, very stupid for fighting for this for years, not getting any work done, not getting any of this done, when this has already been here for ages, which, again, it's kind of crazy. Now, I did say the internet law was in 2024, so maybe this did change, a little bit after the strikes actually went on, but hey, we'll have to wait and see. But obviously, all of these voice actors are still crashing out over online, and it'll be very interesting to see if, there are some more kind of information added to this article. Obviously, if we go to the comments, obviously, people are saying, thanks for this, much info needed. As much as I want this to be true, but many people seem to forget that MiHoYo and HoYoverse Cognosphere are legally two different companies, which again is true. but I'm not sure how that would work in terms of crossing over. I feel like there still would be some repercussions for it. Obviously, they say I need someone to explain it to me because not even Jeff Bezos would have the power to give, have the power you're all giving to a union, which again is crazy. They say, so the VAs already have AI protection, oh brother. So this seems to be a pretty important kind of stepping stone in terms of this entire situation, and hopefully this does improve because, again, Chinese community aren't happy with the voice actors. Seems like, you know, Genshin Impact and HoYoverse already have some implementations put in place, and also the fact that it could be absolutely detrimental to their organization if they were to sign something like this in the first place. And let's just remember, America is not the only country in the world that can speak English, okay? We've got Britain, you know, Wuthering Waves does a great job at using British voice actors. And, you know, it can like kind of, you know, improve the accent, improve the overall kind of quality of the game, but at the same time, we wouldn't have problems like this with the strikes and everything. There's also other countries in the world that also speak English. Even in places like Japan and China, you can even hire people to go live there and just do voice acting. You know, MiHoYo have so many other options other than, you know, pretty much career and company suicide, which, you know, it just seems way less beneficial to them, obviously. And yeah, overall, I think it's a very interesting kind of development. And if this is true, it could be kind of crazy to the entire situation. But hey, we'll have to wait and see if anything does change. And yeah, hopefully this did keep you guys a little bit more informed about what is going on and what some of the information is coming out. And yeah, hopefully, you know, if there is any kind of update on this, you know, any of these posts, I will keep you guys updated because, again, I want to keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on and every bit of information that is actually true. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.